Okay, ready? Hang on, I'll just get my thing happening here. Oh boy, it's not working, is it? Hang on, bear with me, boys. Try and be professional. Okay. All right, Aqeel, let's roll. Let's go.
Hello, everyone. Tonight we are going to run our workshop number 3 for business success series, Strive and Thrive. And we are extremely thankful to our industry experts, Oisín and Peter. And let's introduce our experts. Maria, over to you.
Okay, thanks, Aqeel. The first industry expert is Mr. Peter Simpson. He founded his management consulting company, Organisation Technology, in 1985. He uses statistical methods and analysis of production processes and their management, which has saved millions of dollars. Some of Mr. Simpson's clients' results include Kodak Australia and Coca-Cola Amatil, and he also helped Bechtel Pacific's 1,350,000 employees aluminium smelter project in Queensland to finish 6 months early and 100 million under budget. Mr. Simpson has also assisted hundreds of small and medium-sized businesses achieve greater profits and growth through improved management and organisation with clients all around the world. Over his long career, Peter Simpson has helped to create or save thousands of jobs, delivered seminars and workshops to tens of thousands of individuals, and created $2 billion of savings and increased income for his clients. Would like to welcome Mr. Peter Simpson.
Thank you very much. All right, I'll get right into it. I'm just going to turn on a PowerPoint here. So I'll need, yes, there we go. I can share my screen. Good. Just a minute. Try again. The host has to enable screen sharing. It's been disabled. Can you enable that? Good, done. Okay, we'll try now. Much better. Thank you. Okay, so let me just click another button. Very good. So you should all now be able to see the words look, don't think. And this little brief talk I'm doing tonight is entirely on this subject. I'm going to be talking about a lot more looking and a lot less thinking and why this is very, very important. And this material all comes from Mr. L. Ron Hubbard. So the first point is to fix or improve things, you must first look. What tends to happen is that people, as a first step, they start thinking about the problem. But before you do that, you should be looking to discover what really needs to be fixed. And this brings us to the subject of introversion and extroversion. First is introversion. Introversion means looking in. It means your attention is in. So this man is thinking. When you think, you see all kinds of things. One thought can lead to another thought, can lead to another thought. You might be thinking about money, and then somehow that brings up an argument you had with your spouse, and you're reminded of the fact that your child was watching, and then you didn't buy the present, which was what your wife was arguing about. And the end of all this thinking is you feel pretty bad. And you didn't solve the problem, which was, how am I going to make some more money? We see a lot of introversion. In fact, if you just walk down the street, you will see most people are introverted. They're looking in. If they're looking at their telephone, which is up close to their face, they're not looking outwards, they're thinking. This is bad. I don't know if it's happened to you, but I've had people walk into me or walk in front of my car because they aren't aware of what's going on around them because they are introverted. Extroversion is attention outwards. You're looking out into the environment. When you look out, you can see things. When you're thinking, you don't see things. People who are thinking when they're driving are dangerous. People who are looking when they're driving are safe. All this applies to running a business or holding a career. Introversion is thinking. It doesn't make you happy. You will seldom see a person sitting thinking who has a big smile on their face. It doesn't happen. So when you have a problem in your business, this is what most people do. They sit and think. This only makes things worse. Extroversion is looking. When you look out, you feel good. You can see these people look good. They're happy because they're looking at things. When you look at things, you see things. Introversion. People think more about what other people are thinking than about what other people are seeing. So in this example, this man has a shop and there's a shopper in there and she's picked up some parsley. And what she's thinking is, I see parsley. That's what I wanted. The shop owner's thinking, she thinks it's dirty. He's thinking about what she might be thinking rather than looking. So this causes people to make all kinds of mistakes, get terribly worried about things that don't exist and don't attend to the things they should be attending to. Too much thinking. To find out about things, first you must look and look and look. Then you can think a little bit. A very bad mechanic knows what's wrong with the car before he's even looked. I'm sure all of you have had things fixed on your car that didn't need to be fixed, when the thing that needed to be fixed didn't get fixed. It's exactly the same applies to a business. Things get fixed, shouldn't have been fixed, and things that should have been fixed don't get fixed because no one looked. They just thought about it. All that's really wrong with anybody is that they get too introverted. A person looking into self, that's introversion. A person looking out from self to the environment would be extroversion. So I thoroughly recommend doing what this little old lady is doing on the right. If you're feeling introverted, book a flight on an aeroplane and parachute. It's extremely difficult to be introverted when you're falling through the sky. You have a lot of attention outwards, mostly at the ground. This is very healthy. This is a very good condition. You know you're alive, absolutely, because you might soon die. It's nothing reminds you that you're alive when you might soon die. This is very healthy. You see some people, they get right into exercising. Many of these exercise people never talk to you. I have two people that are deeply into exercise. They walk past me when I'm walking my dogs. They wear very little because they want me to see their beautifully toned muscles and their wonderful fake tan. And they show me their body, but they never talk because all their attention is on their body. You see this, too much attention on the body makes you introverted. It's a bad thing. There's nothing wrong with being healthy. There's nothing wrong with exercising. It just depends on why and where you put your attention. Don't think that 50% introversion and 50% extroversion is optimum. We want a maximum of about 2% introversion and about 98% extroversion. So it's fine to think. You need to think to work things out, but that should take up 2% of your life. The rest of the time, you're out there exercising, going to the beach, and having fun. This is healthy. Introverted people think they have to work very, very hard to survive. And they don't have to work hard to survive. As a matter of fact, the harder they work just to survive and nothing else, why, the less they're going to survive. And that's certainly the less happy they're going to be about it. Strangely, when you're very extroverted, you can work, but you're not working because you have to. You're working because you want to. And if you work because you want to, you can enjoy it. And if you are enjoying something, you're happy. And if you're happy, people like you. And they come into your shop. And they do business with you. And they feel good about it. And they tell their friends. And then more come. Be extroverted. Now, there's a cure for just about anything. It's called take a walk around the block and look at things. If you just had an argument with your wife or husband, take a walk and look at things. When you come back, things will be better. If your business isn't doing well, take a walk and look at things. You will feel better and your business will do better. If your children are driving you crazy, take a walk and look at things. When you get back, you will love them and they'll be nice. But there's an exact way to do it. You really need to look. And you walk around your block and you look at things. Then you walk around the same block of streets and you look at the same things. And you keep doing this until you feel good. It's quite surprising. It can take you some time before you can actually see what you're looking at. And if you did that every day, believe me, you'd do better, your life would do better, your business would do better, you get more customers, and you'd make more money. It's the complete cure-all. I do it every single day. I heard, I was watching a video, it was the driver, Mr. Hubbard's driver, his chauffeur, and he said Mr. Hubbard told him, never look down, always look up or straight ahead. This is fantastic advice. If I'm walking and I find I'm looking at my feet or the footpath, I give myself a whack, look up or look straight ahead, and I keep doing that and I always feel better, and so will you. So that's all I had to say tonight. I hope that helps you. And now I'll hand it back to Maria.
Thank you, Peter. That was wonderful learning about introversion and extroversion. And Maria, could you please introduce our second expert? Over to you, Maria.
You're on mute, Maria.
That's better. Thanks, Maria.
Wait a second. Maria, we can't hear you.
You're on mute.
Mute.
There you go. You're off mute now. Start again.
All right, let's go. Mr. Oisín Grogan, also known as a 200 million business coach, he's an entrepreneur, international consultant and speaker. Oisín knows what it's like to have debts, lack of sales and difficult staff. All of the challenges that you are facing right now as a business owner, especially during COVID-19, he has personally experienced, but more importantly, all of his difficulties he has managed to conquer. Oisín founded Executive Success in 2008 after running a number of successful businesses in the service, manufacturing, property, and consulting industry. Since then, he has consulted businesses in over 50 industries, ranging from startups to public companies with turnovers in the hundreds of millions, and has a unique track record of being able to grow and streamline all types of businesses. So I'll just welcome Oisín Grogan.
All right, thank you. Let me just, there we go. Well, good day, everyone. Hope you're doing well. So I just want to forward what Peter said about taking a walk. It seems remarkably simple. Like, how could that possibly make my business better? How could it possibly do it? But it does work. You have to try it and see. And I'm doing well. I'm generally happy. But a lot of us work on computers all day where we're like got our attention right here, and so it's tremendously good to do. And what normally happens for me is the first 10 minutes of walking, I'll be thinking about this, solving this problem, you know, what about that, what's coming up? And then exactly what he said, I'll start to see the environment around me. And I have some of my best business ideas somewhere near the end of my take a walk. Some of the problems that I've been just mulling over, I just see the answer, but it's always when I'm looking out at a tree or something like that. So there's my plug. Just try it. You got to just do it and look, because a lot of people walk and think. So there you go. Cool. All right. So, all right, I've got about 15 minutes. I'm going to expand upon what I did last week, which was about being cause. In other words, what's the success mindset? In other words, so let's get the slideshow up. And I'm going to explain what this all means. So how to be more cause. All right, and these are all the things that Peter and I are covering in the last couple are really just about how to set you up for success. You know, we can get into marketing, we can get into, you know, hiring and get into many details of business, but we've got to work on you as the business owner, or you as the career, the person who's steering the career, before we get into any of the details. So how to be more cause. So we've covered me. Oh, that's my family, by the way. Now, get a pen and paper ready. I'm going to have an exercise at the end of this. It's called the cause drill. It'll all make sense by the time we're there. So I'm just going to do a quick recap of last week for those who didn't see it, but also, you know, it's good to be reminded. So I'm going to go through very quickly though. So the success of a business depends on the mental state of the owner. Exactly what Peter covered. I'm going to cover it from a slightly different angle, but it's really the same thing. So if you get all messed up, thinking, introverted, worried, disturbed, you know, too much Dan, too much media, too much something, too many problems, this is a major, major problem, because an amazing business consultant or friend or someone could come along and give you the perfect solution, but you won't see it, or you won't be able to do it or implement it if you're at effect, which is the opposite of being cause. And the more upset you get, the more you, like a virus, will spread confusion through everyone else in your company. So the first thing I ever do when I deal with a business owner, even in better times, is sort out them first, because if they do have confusions, it'll spread. They have upsets, it'll spread. If they've got all introverted, it will spread. So, and it tends to make your stats go down, your income go down. So We sort it out with the owner. Guess what happens? Starts to sort out and doesn't, you know, affect the rest of the staff so much. And of course, we get up stats. So you've got to be at cause. All right. So it starts with you. Now, let's look at cause and effect very quickly. What does cause mean? It means to make something happen. So all of your success, think about it right now. All of your success was when you were making something happen. That's what we need you to be. And if you're not making something happen, we need to get you back to making something happen. All right, good. What does effect mean? Something that's produced by a cause, a result. So you can see that you can't effectively lead a group if you're being produced by something else, right? In this example here, you're being the domino rather than the finger. Wrong side of the equation. All right. And I might need to turn that off. All right, and then, yeah, no worries. And then you've got to watch out for this. Don't be the effect of your own cause, right? Which sometimes happens to people, particularly, you know, when they make a decision and it sets off a chain of events and then comes back and bites you on the butt. So you've got to watch that too. And it's much easier to make better decisions if you're looking. All right, cool. So very quickly, it's not just cause or effect. You know, there's a scale, and you're not just totally killing it or absolutely totally dying. You know, as a business owner or in your career, so you're somewhere on the scale. So I can quickly show that. All right. It's important to know. And so you've got this scale. Everything is always in increments, right? The temperature isn't hot or cold. It's normally, you know, hot is sort of like over some part of it and cold is some part of it. Just like cause, the higher up this scale of cause you go equals the more success. Simple as that, right? The higher up this scale of cause you go, the more you look. The less you look, the further down you go. And of course, down the bottom would be the opposite effect, meaning things are causing you to be a certain way, you know, like you got bad news and you're like, you know, that's effect. So as soon as you've got to get looking and doing things that can get you back to cause. All right, cool. Also, as I covered last week, when a person is cause, they're doing things outwards. It's very much what Peter was talking about. And you normally look a lot happier, or at least focused. So cause things are normally outflow things, meaning they flow outwards. Effect things, you'll see, are the opposite. They come inflow. All right. So it gives you an idea of all the things that are going to make you successful in business, the things that are really, really going to take you to the next level, whether it be promotion, marketing, sales, planning. They're actually things you're doing out. You're out into the environment. You're looking, you're deciding, but then you're doing something. Okay, so let's move on. All righty. And failure is down the bottom. So it's all connected. All right, now let's look at blame. A lot of blame going on, especially if you're a politician right now. But have you noticed how blame never fixes anything? You know, you can blame politicians, but it won't fix your business. You can blame the economy, but it won't make sales go up. So what is blame? Now, here's a quote from Mr. Hubbard. An individual is apparently designed to be cause. True, huh? Let's just get a little bit of reality here. Just think of a time that you were like really doing well. A real great time for you, yeah? Yeah, cool. And were you cause or effect? Were you making things happen? That's why you were happy, right? You made something happen. You might have just received a big chunk of money, but I'm sure you had something to do with that, right? Anyway, cool. Anyway, point is, we're happy when we're cause. That's the point. All righty. All right. So people apparently are designed to be cause. On the other side, we've got blame. which is ordinarily people call the assignment of cause blame. So assignment means here you're actually you're saying that something else is cause. That's called blame. Like that. So we're pointing at this fellow and saying he's the cause, or he's guilty, right? But really what we're doing is we're making him the cause. And if you want to expand anything in your life, whether it be your business, your relationships, this doesn't work. You may have noticed this doesn't work. And even if you look at a couple or something like that that are fighting, you ever notice when you have a fight with your other half and you get a bit like, see, blame. And then, when you chill out, maybe you've taken a walk and, played with the dog in a park or something, and then you start taking responsibility. You start becoming cause again. Like, oh, I'm sorry, darling. It was actually my fault. She's like, oh, no, that's okay. No, really, I could have handled that better. See, everyone's being cause now, and suddenly we're all in love again. You see? It's very important. All right, cool. So blame doesn't work if you want to be successful. All right, so we covered that. Now, if one assigns cause to something, he delivers to that entity power. So yeah, we're blaming this fellow for doing something wrong, but really what we're saying is he's the cause and he's getting more powerful. So it's interesting that, right now there's quite a lot of blame going on because of the government, and they may be doing stupid things, but I don't think, let's look at it. So how does it possibly work? So we've got some fellow over here making decisions or doing things. And one of the best ways to make him more powerful or a person more powerful is to go, he's the cause. See how we're actually giving him attention. We're giving him energy. We're actually saying, well, he's the cause. The government's the cause. See, and what does that mean? Well, that means we're effect. So it really isn't. And what does it do over here in your business over here or your life? While you're busy saying that thing is caused, you're actually leaving this unhandled. So it just doesn't work. And the only way you're going to get your life better and all that sort of thing and get your stats up, whether it be money or happiness or whatever, is you're going to have to put your attention over here and start causing some things. All right. And trust me, you are way, way, way more powerful than you even can imagine. It really is. It's a complete, the best thing to do with all that garbage is ignore it, get on with building your own life and your own success. And actually, there's nothing they can do really. It's to stop you. People just have really bad estimation of how powerful they are. But I'll tell you what, if you're going around like this blaming, you will reduce your power because you're saying everyone else is powerful, you see? So got to get out of that. So if you find yourself doing it, take a walk and then get busy with it. All right, so next, and then we're going to do the cause drill. All right. Oh, let's go. Let's see my, oh, here we go. Yeah, look at that. And you probably know that saying, if you're pointing the finger, there's 3 fingers pointing back at you. So there you go. All right, cool. So more on cause and effect. This is a really interesting thing. I use this all the time, right? The area you can determine or influence is directly regulated by the amount of communication you have into that area. No matter how painful it may be to you, remember that. I'll give that again. The determinism of the actions in that area directly and immediately depends upon the amount of communication you've got into that area. And determinism means causing something to occur. All right, so how do you apply that? Oh, I'll finish the quote. The answer is more communication, not less. So let's look at how you'd apply that, and then we'll do the cause drill. So you can probably think of something in your life or in your business that's given you trouble, right? So let's say this is your business. We'll break it up into some parts, like sales might be down or something like that. Or maybe your personnel is troublesome. That's personnel. Anyway, so something they might be going good, that's going good, that's going good. But you as a business owner find it really hard maybe to confront, I don't know, tax or something. That would have never have happened before. And you see, if you're not confronting it, you'll be doing a lot of thinking, like Peter was saying, that's for sure, instead of looking. But the answer is more communication. If you're really going to solve something, no matter how painful it is for you, pain, you've got to communicate into that area. One form of communication is looking. Just go and start looking at it. Another thing is to start talking to people. You know, if it was a tax thing, call your accountant. See, communication. But look at that. Do you see here? Every time you're communicating, you are cause. And so on. Talk to a friend, find out what they did. You know, keep communicating. You'd be surprised. So any area where you're like having trouble, the answer is more communication. So if there's something that I don't want to deal with, does happen occasionally, this is always the quote I think of, and I start communicating immediately. Send an email, send a text, start talking to someone, start looking something up on the internet. So even if I'm researching, I'm being cause. I'm communicating with data, information. Right? So there's always something you can do about it. All right, cool. Make sense? Yep, okay, great. So if you did think of something that you need to do something about, write it down. After this, get on with it. Okay, here we go. So I'll give you that again. The answer is more communication, not less. It really is. Sometimes you might need to take a walk if you're having a fight with your spouse. You know, and communication is not yelling at someone, right? Just screaming at them and abusing them. That's just yelling. Communication is meaning, you know, ideas are exchanging and people are listening. So, okay. So now let's look at the cause drill, all right? Let's buckle up for this. So where are you effect? Is there a part of your business you're effect? If you don't have a solution, what can you be cause over? So this is a really cool drill that Mr. Hubbard came up with. Here it is. The only way you can be successful on a post, and a post just means your job or a role that you have and the duties that are part of it. All right. So a post could be, you know, a business owner. It could be sales manager. It could be wife. It could be husband. It could be father, mother, son. These are all posts, really. You can apply this to anything. So the only way you can be successful on a post or win at it is to be at cause over it. So this is how you do it. Write down. So pick one post firstly, right? Because the idea here is not to say, you know, you've got quite a few things you're doing in life. So I'm not saying think of everything that's wrong. Please don't do that because you'll just go. Okay, so don't do that, please. All right. So pick one thing, one post. You do this on each individual post. So maybe it's your business. Maybe you've got a couple of businesses, right? Pick one of them. Maybe it's your emails. Maybe your emails, you know, handling that's which is communication, whatever. Pick something. You got it? Yeah, great. All right. So we got one post, and it could be marketing. Could be the marketing area of your business. Could be anything. So now write down. I'll give you a minute or two to do this. Write down any and all points where you feel that you are not at cause over this post, over this role. Okay. So not at cause. So, you know, something you're struggling with, but get specific. You see, and part of this is you're looking. Get specific. It's not all blah, 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 blah. Like, is it marketing? Is it emails? Is it staff? Is it one particular staff? Maybe you think all your staff are bad, but if you have a look, is it just, maybe this is one. Maybe it's hiring. You get the idea. Get specific. So any areas where you don't feel at cause. So you can just give me a thumbs up or something like that when we're when you've done that. Yeah, cool. You might only have a couple, which is great. All right, a couple more are still going. And look, you know, we don't have long for these seminars, so you can carry on with this drill afterwards. All right, we've got a few more thumbs up. Okay, great. Looks like everyone's good. All right, you get the idea. Thank you. All right. So then what do we do now? So I've just put you in all the things you're effect of. So let's see what he says. Then look at points one after another where on I'll give you that, where one can be at cause. That's a typo, sorry guys. Let me fix that right now. All right, let's try again. So then look at points one after another where one can be at cause. So this is part of the success mindset, right? You've got to be thinking that you can be at cause. And one's vision of this gets bigger and bigger. And one comes to cause over his post. Try it. All right, so just look at it over. And I do suggest start on that gradient thing again. Just pick maybe the first thing. If I'm doing this, I just look at the easiest thing, right? What's something you can do? Like, have a win here, you know? Don't go for handle, you know, my $400,000 tax bill or something. That could cause one to lose, right? So anyway, start with that, right? And then look at it. So do it right now. Look over that list. What could you do about it? What's something you could be cause over? You got it? Thought of something? I'd say some communication will be involved, right? Probably. Okay, very good. All right, look at another one. Next point on that list. Where else could you be at cause on that list? What could you do about something there? All right, how are we going there? I can see you doing it, it's good. Yeah. Wow, look at you go. All right, awesome. So good, did you get another item where you could do something about it? Yeah, cool. All right, you get the idea, right? And finish it off. I'm not going to do the rest of the drill right now, but you get the idea. See, so do you feel a little bit more cause now already, where you can start to see what you can do about some things? Yeah, awesome. Fantastic. All right, great. Good. So finish that off afterwards. That's my suggestion. So thank you. If you want to reach me, you can get me on Facebook at 200 Million Coach or contact at 200millioncoach.com. All right, no worries. That's all from me.
Thank you, Oisín. That was wonderful. And
Thank
my cause
you.
was sales. I do not have enough sales because of this pandemic situation. So that was wonderful. I learned something new today. And
Awesome.
now over to you, Maria. We can start our question answer session. If any participant has got any question, they can come over on the mic and or they can write on the chat box. Maria, over to you.
Okay, thanks, Aqeel. I've got a question for Oisín. It says, how can I be more cause so I can get more customers? Oisín, if you could help with that one.
Wow, this is an entire seminar or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, but I can expand a little bit more. Yeah, it really is. But I could expand on like one or two of the simplest things that most businesses don't do. And I would say at a survey, at least 9 out of 10 businesses don't do what I'm about to cover with you. So it may not apply to everyone, but I guarantee you there's a way to apply this, right? I'll just show it to you. It's probably simpler. Most businesses have this thing called a database of customers. So there's 2 types of customers, right? You've got people have bought from you. So these are people who've actually spent money with you. I call this the gold mine. There's various names for it. Some people call it your client list, right? You should have a list of names in your business with like emails and preferably phone numbers as well. And any other details, also hard copy address is good too. But anyway, you've got a list of identities of people who have bought from you. The first thing you need to be doing as a business is, let me show it differently. Actually, I'll finish answering the question. Then you've got this other list you should be collecting, which is prospects. So it's the same thing, same details. You know, some people call this inquiries. You can also buy these lists. Whatever you do, it's a list of people who could buy, who could be interested, who are interested, who have been interested. It could be people who've done quotes in the past. It could be people who've, you know, anyway, you get the idea, but didn't buy. Now, in most businesses, you'd go in there, Peter will probably say the same thing. You find that this list is being put in the bin I've actually found people who throw this stuff in the bin, or they put this on a hard drive somewhere and forget about it. But it's unbelievable. What you need to do, if this is your business, you need to do exactly what we were talking about there in that section, which is you get that list, because these people are all around your environment, right? Your suburb, and you start communicating to them. You've got to promote to them. This is the first easy win, is to start promoting to anyone who's bought from you. And you see, when you communicate, your business becomes cause. And then one of the nice things that happens when you cause good things, like you promote, like we're good, you know, remember us, you know, how can we help you? What can we do for you? People will come in and get your services. Part of what will come in can be money. All right, so that's a very, 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 very short answer to what's a very long question, but here's the thing. 9 out of 10 businesses do not do this. And most, particularly small business owners, when they go to start promoting, they start thinking of all the reasons why they can't promote and why they can't communicate. And they start thinking about, like, what if I make a mistake? What if I send out an email with a typo? Like, none of this actually matters as much as the point that you communicated. I couldn't stress this enough. It's unbelievable how much money is left on the table because businesses don't communicate to their existing clients and their past clients and their potential clients. So there you go. There's a very short answer. Just try it. It takes real genius to do.
Fantastic. I've taken my notes down, Oisín. Thank you. Okay, yeah. Look, I've got a question for Peter. Sorry, Aqeel, did you want to say something? No, he's muted. Okay, I've just got a question for...
No.
Do you want to say something, Aqeel?
No. I was writing down some points.
So was I. Okay, I've just got a question for Peter. In your seminar, you said, you know, look, don't think. Obviously, it's on a viewpoint for a business. Could you also apply that to your to life, to family, to what you're doing?
Look, absolutely. People spend far, far too much time thinking. You know, people can. My next door neighbour is an engineer and a total thinker. He said to me that he wanted to get an investment property and make that into a self-managed super fund. At that time, I was working with a company that sold investment properties. I said, sure, I'll come and talk to you about it. And I told him what to do. And I said, here's a property. This would be good. We can get you exactly what you want. He says, oh, yes, but I want to do it with my friend. I want to set up a superannuation fund with my friend because then it will be cheaper because we'll split the cost. I said, well, gee, you might save yourself all of about maybe $2,000 or something. And we're looking at a multi-$100,000 investment. Let's not muck about. Let's do it. Now, I think I better think about it, were his exact words. 4 years later, he still hasn't got an investment property. If he'd bought one when I told him to buy one and bought the exact one I pointed at him, he'd be about $150,000 richer now. So by not wanting to spend $1,500, he didn't do that. Now, his house is falling down. We can see holes in the wall. Look, I put trees up so I can't see the holes in the wall. And he and his wife are both engineers. I'd say between them, and I have no children, and I'd say between them they pocket probably about $300,000 to $400,000 a year. He hasn't got his walls fixed. I said, I can see you. If the walls get any worse and you're in your bedroom, I'll see you naked. He says, oh, we'll put something over that. I said, what's wrong? He said, oh, we're going to get a new house. Oh, okay, what are you going to do? Oh, we can't decide whether we're going to pull this one down and just build another one or build two. We're still thinking about it. I bumped into him just on the weekend and I said, what's happening with your house? Well, we were going to do it, really, but now that COVID's here, I don't think it's the time. I think we'll wait until COVID's over and then what we'll do is we'll get the house. I see. Now, all the trees out the front of your house are so bad, we can't walk down the footpath. Yes, I've been wondering what to do. I'm still wondering if I cut down all the trees or just trim them back, but I'm still thinking of, you get the idea? You can think yourself to death. You can think yourself into poverty. You can think yourself into misery. If he just acted, he'd now have a new house, a beautiful one, which he can easily afford, which by now would have increased in value enormously. Plus the other house, he'd be about $300,000 or $400,000 richer and happier if he just stopped thinking and did something. And I just see this everywhere, all over the world. And the worst thing that happens if you just do something without thinking too much, you can go, oh gosh, that was wrong. Now you know it was wrong and you can do something else. But if you don't do anything in the first place, you'll never find out if it was right or wrong. Anyway, that's all. I'll finish on that.
Hilarious.
It is. Thank you so much, Peter.
Okay.
We're just going to the chat right now. Lucas, can you unmute yourself?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so Lucas has a question for the industry experts. I'll pass it across to you, Lucas.
All right, guys. So obviously with COVID-19 and everything, people are having to re-strategize how they promote and advertise and everything like that. And I was wondering, in regards to online marketing and things like that, do you think it's more effective to promote broadly so anyone can see it, or to try and get personalized contact with people and communicate with them directly?
I'll pass that to Oisín firstly, and then I'll say something.
Okay.
Fair enough. Yeah. Yeah. Huge subject. People get tremendously bogged down in tactics in all of this stuff, like which little jigger should I do, or this new thing of Facebook, or this new this, and a lot of people are very Facebook centric these days. It is very useful. However, the simplicity of it is in your question, is that you need to contact a person. Whenever you're doing marketing, you're trying to contact an actual person who can buy and use what you're selling. So when you go broad, that's fine. There's more right and wrong, right? Just promoting broadly would be better than not promoting at all, right? Be better than thinking about it, in fact, which a lot of people do. They think about all the promotion they're going to do, but never do it, or you know. Right? So that's the first thing. Number one, promoting is right as not promoting. But that's why I was covering those lists before. Lists of identities. A mass of people doesn't buy, an individual buys. Even if it's a big company, an individual buys in that company. An individual will ultimately make that decision in most companies anyway, right? So you need to reach the individual, and you need to know what those individuals, what they think, what they like, what they find valuable, all this sort of thing. And then you can offer them something. It's way easier to promote if you think of talking to an individual. Give you an example, and then I'll stop, because we go on forever about this, is, you know, people, even in copy that people write, they'll say, people are, you know, are this, people are that. That's kind of like talking to a whole bunch of people. You're better off saying, do you need help making more sales? See how that's addressed at an individual. Do you need help? Do you need help making more sales? Right. So that's the way you do. That's one of the fundamentals of marketing. It is a communication that needs to go to an individual, and the better you understand that individual, the easier it is to offer them something. So
it's interesting, because my company, when the COVID pandemic first hit, we put a lot of money into LinkedIn, and then our website, to build up the website massively, which is kind of more of a broad thing. But then after a while, everything just went sort of down and down and down, and the restrictions got worse. And then what we started doing is we just went on a total blitz and just started tendering every single job that came up for every council, for every other business, everything, so that we could just expand our network. So I probably can see more the element of personal contact coming into it. It may seem like more work, but you'll actually get more from it.
Yeah, it is work. You know, if you think you're just going to magically do something on Facebook And it just magically, you know, it's people are trying to, if you're trying to avoid work, don't do business and don't get into marketing. Marketing is work, and it's glorious when it actually happens. But yes, picking up your phone and ringing your last 50 or your top 50 customers will get you more business than all of that. If you know. Anyway, there you go. Peter, you had something to say?
Yeah, just very briefly, that I tend to think of, you know, the market as concentric circles. So the first one is like people you know. Maybe it's your next door neighbour. And then it might go out to people that have done business with you. And then there'd be people that have done business with you, but not for a very long time. And there can be people that know the people that have done business with you, and so on. Then you can reach out more and more broadly. And the logical thing is you work from the closest outwards. You know, why ignore your next door neighbour and be reaching to somebody across in South America via the internet? And the classic on this was, I know a fellow, he made a lot of money with a cleaning business in Melbourne, enough to, when he sold it, he went to Queensland to retire. He was still quite young. He was probably in his late 40s, but he made enough money. He thought this was his dream. And after exactly 1 month, he was so bored, he was flipping through the newspaper and saw that there was a business for sale. So he bought it. And this was a business that it killed bugs, you know, one of these pest control businesses, and it consisted of one truck with all the gear and a Google AdWords ad. And the owner said, you sit there at the phone, and when you get a call, you go and see them and kill their bugs and get paid. So he sat there, and in his first day, I think he got 2 calls. He thought, this is a bit slow. The next day, it was now about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and he hadn't got a call. So he went, bugger this. So he did something incredibly daring, really, really daring. No one would ever think of doing this, but here's what he did. He went next door and knocked on the front door and said, hello, madam. Have you got any creepy crawlies, bugs, mice, anything that scares you? Oh, yes, I do. Well, I can kill them. Oh, please do. So he sold him. Then he did the next most extremely crazy thing. He knocked on the next house. And over the next few 2 months, he knocked on every house within walking distance. 2 years later, he had 12 trucks. The year after that, he had, I don't know how many trucks, but he sold the lot for 12 million. And this time retired a second time and came back to Melbourne. He lasted again about 2 months, and then he started another cleaning business, which at last call was, I don't know, doing millions of dollars worth of cleaning a year. So we can get too utterly complicated about it. Let's do the simple stuff first and build out from there. You got it? That's my theory.
Yeah. Spot on.
Really good. Thanks for that.
Yeah. That's that customer list. You start with the people who've bought. Even if you don't have neighbors, it doesn't apply. You just start with your customer list. It's so neglected. I went into a business once, and their accountant was literally putting in the bin. If they hadn't bought for 2 years, he literally was deleting it. Like, and archiving it. It wasn't fully deleted. It took us a couple of weeks to get them to reconstruct it, but there was literally millions of dollars of business in there. It's so stupid, some of the stuff you see. Anyway, enough said.
Okay, so the moral of the story is to keep it simple, right?
Indeed so.
Thank you, experts. Aqeel, I'm going to pop it back to you. Oh, actually, we're going to take it to the chat. Would anybody like to ask any other questions to the industry experts? Salman and Naz, Sadaf?
No, all good from my side.
Okay, that's lovely, darling.
Thanks for it. Was a lovely session.
That's great. Sadaf, would you like to ask a question to the industry experts?
No, not yet. All good.
Okay, has that helped you with the
Yes.
question you had before in the beginning?
Yes, and I think I'll go over the recording again to absorb the information further.
Okay, that's great. We're glad that they were able to help you there.
I was thinking of you.
Oh, thank
There
you.
you go.
That's great.
Thanks, appreciate that.
The boys are very, very good in that sense. Salman, do you have any questions for the industry expert?
No, I'm good actually. Whatever they have mentioned today, these are the things we've been trying to do, but we're just a bit lazy off at the moment. And just as like contacting customers, we have been and doing other stuff. But yeah, because not many people can reach out back to you, so you're a bit restricted on doing that. But yes, have to be more on top of these tasks. So it was a good session. I'll be joining regularly.
Very good.
Great.
All right.
One comment on that, mate, is if you're a bit restricted now, I would increase the amount of communication and promotion. And I look at this totally as an opportunity. If you can get yourself up to your usual levels with restrictions, imagine what's going to happen to your business when they come off. It'll explode. So you can be building a really massive boom by taking the restrictions and using them to your advantage.
Yep.
And I would like to add something, Salman. In our last workshop, Peter did give example about the car services business, that they are contacted all their existing customers. They're providing their pick and drop services. So they don't need to go to the workshop. The workshop people will come to the house, get the car, do the service, and drop the car back. So you can also do that.
Yep. Yeah, I'll look into that.
Yes, and sterilize the car.
Yes.
They also do that.
Yes.
Or if you would prefer, they will come and pick you up and drive you back.
Yeah.
Whatever.
There are many five-star mechanics. They are doing this work already, picking up the car from the customer's house, or sometimes if they have to organize a tow, they are organizing a tow as well.
That's wonderful.
Yes, indeed. Very good.
Okay.
All righty. So that's the wrap up for tonight workshop. It went really good, and I'm really thankful to all the experts and participants. And this recording will be available hopefully by Sunday or Monday. I will upload on the same page, and there you can watch again. And previous two workshop videos are also available over there, which I will share with Salman as well.